everyone. Welcome to Let's Chat on Sunday. I'm so glad to see everybody here, and I am so thrilled to have Kelly, the Mystic Next Door, here. She is a healer, a psychic medium. She's the host, as you can see, of the Mystic Next Door, the YouTube channel, and I'm thrilled to have a conversation with her today. So welcome, Kelly.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here. So thank you for having me.
I feel like I'm in the dark.
I know, I'm bright.
I don't know why. It just all of a sudden looks so dark in here. Okay, compared to just your lightness and brightness. So it will just be, we'll be good and evil. The light side and the dark side. So welcome, and I'm so happy to have you here. And I first want to ask you, and just so people get to kind of know you, and I see like our family here, right? Everybody's here. Gina's here, Craig's here, Denise is here. People are here at Mountain Sunshine. I wanted to sort of begin by just asking you about sort of what brought you into the spiritual space. Where did it start for you? How did you begin? I think it's always nice to hear people's origin story. So yeah,
Sure.
Where does this begin for you?
Okay. Well, like you, I grew up in a, traditional religion. We weren't crazy and cuckoo, we weren't too devout, but it was a Catholic upbringing. I went to Catholic school up until second grade when my family moved. We went to church every Sunday, all of, the traditional things. But I can honestly say that I always questioned some of the odd rituals of Catholicism, like why you would make a 7 or 8 year old confess their sins to a priest. And that just seemed really weird. And, fortunately my parents didn't make, we did our first confession, our first communion, but they didn't make us go all the time. And, in fact, I think my first confession was my last confession. And what do you do as a 7-year-old or whatever, however old you are? You make up things. You say, well, I lied to my brother and I hit my sister, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? It just seemed really weird to me. And I always felt like, the whole, no meat on Fridays, and just the rituals and the rules felt, I just always questioned them. I didn't say it, but yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So fast forward, and, I would say, fortunately, I feel like my mom was very, probably more spiritual than, involved in the Catholic, faith, even though she still attends church, when she can. She's in her 80s. But she had a lot of, kind of, I guess unusual activities. Like she would know things when she shouldn't, especially considering around her children, which I think happens to a lot of women, right? But she would know very odd things and just kind of, and she was always very like matter of fact about death and dying. She said, she never feared dying because she knew there was something more. Anyway, so I feel like that was great. Now I didn't grow up with, tarot cards or, any of that sort of thing, but it was open. It was an open door there. My dad was very into ETs. I will say that. later in life, that was interesting. But anyway, so fast forward, I had a lot of weird experiences, like many of us. As a child, I would see people, hey mom, who was that in the bathroom with me while I was brushing my teeth? And she would just play it off. She would say, I would describe him to a T, and, and it sounded like he was wearing kind of old-timey clothes and whatever. And she would just play it off like, oh, that's your guardian angel, that kind of thing, which was very interesting because it set me at ease. It was just a very matter-of-fact thing. And so, yeah. And then, life went on, and I imagine you were this way too, Kim. I was terrified to be alone in my bed at night. Were you this way, or did you love it?
No, I was that way, always. In fact, I slept with the light on until I was 18. So there we go.
Yes, I always did the nightlight. I was just, I think it was because I was sensing presences around me. If that's, yeah. If I was like the last one to go to bed when I was a teenager, I felt like walking up the steps, I felt like I had 25 people running up the steps behind me, like with me. And it scared me, So what you do is you shut that down. You shut all that sense down rather than lean into it. You close it off. So fast forward again. And I guess my first really crazy experience as an adult, I had my kids. They were, young. I think kindergarten and, maybe 4, 5, 6, something like that. And I remember lying in bed one night, I woke up, and my bed was surrounded by angels. Or I should say, I first looked and there was one kind of ethereal light presence at the foot of my bed. And it scared me. Like I blinked my eyes and it was still there. And I just felt very strongly that there was a presence, and I just knew it was kind of angelic because it felt so kind of free form and whatever. So I pulled the covers over my eyes, closed, counted to 10. And then I was like, I am just dreaming this. So I took them down again, and I looked, and they were all around the bed, probably 5, 6, 7 around the bed. And it scared the heck out of me, honestly. And, I'm so mad at myself because then I closed my eyes again and I just sort of shivered the rest of the night. Now I probably would have been John says I was sleeping next to her when this happened. He always slept through probably like not unlike Adam. He slept through all of my experiences. I've heard things, I've seen. So, he wouldn't have believed me. But anyway, this is where my fascination began, and I started studying energy medicine as kind of a backdoor way into spirituality, because it's kind of weird to say that you're psychic, right? So really it started with healing, energy healing. Again, with a knowing that we all have the ability to heal ourselves, and that there's more to, surgery and medicine that to the healing process. So, and you can stop me anywhere. I know I'm just plowing right through.
No, please go. No.
Okay. All right. So, still on the sidelines in terms of like studying energy medicine. I studied nutrition, all sorts of things. But I eventually, I think around a couple of years, maybe 3 or 4 years before the pandemic, I finally said, okay, that's it. I'm going to go get a set of a deck of tarot cards. And again, I played it off like this is a game. We would just, party tricks, parlor tricks, right? The families around say, oh, who wants a card reading, right? And I explained this to you before, but it was really kind of, I played it off like it was just fun and games, when in fact I knew I was really practicing and I was experiencing things, and I was realizing that at the time, my card readings were very accurate, and I could intuit things as I was reading the cards. So it wasn't really until during the pandemic that or maybe just a little before, that I've explained this so many times. Whenever I'm walking the dog, I tend to get hits. And I started to hear one day, I heard I was passing a neighbor's house and I heard, "She will not be with us long." And I thought, oh my God, what a morbid thought. Why did I think that? And then the next day, my other neighbor says, "Did you hear so-and-so died yesterday?" And I just, cold chills. Like, okay, that's crazy. Another story, it was things like that. And things were just happening faster and faster. And I think it was my belief that was, I was really starting to believe more. And so Spirit was giving me more every day on these walks. And so anyway, this is where not long after that, I actually signed up and took classes with you, and I really started to take it seriously. So that's the story in a nutshell.
And I love the fact that you bring up that idea, because I had the same thing happen when I got a message about my dad before. This was years and years, even years before I left the church. It was back then that he was going to pass. And I thought that I had the same feeling of like, why would I think that? What a horrible thought to think. And I think I'm glad that you bring that up, because the messages you receive, especially if they're through your mind, like if they're through a feeling, it's a little different. But when it's through your mind and through even your memory bank, or it's through your imagination, it feels like you. It feels like it's you. And I'm glad that you bring that up, because and your rational mind tries to come in and say, what a horrible thought. Why would I ever think that? And it tries to rationalize what's going on. Was that one of the first experiences where, because the one that I'm talking about with my dad, that's kind of one of the first times I remember putting the pieces together, because it actually unfolded the way that I heard. And then I remembered that, and I was able to put the pieces together. Oh, that was a message, and then this happened. Was that one of the first experiences you had that you were starting to put the pieces together?
I would say yes. I mean, I was already starting. Well, it's interesting because I had opened the door with the dabbling with the cards and things like that, and just trying to really kind of, sit in meditation prior to that. But this was the first time I actually heard it. I mean, it was like you say, it was in my voice, but it was in my ear too, a little bit. And it startled me. I knew that it wasn't my thoughts, just like you said, because why would I be thinking this? Why would I think something like that? She was fine one day, and next day she wasn't. She was gone. Maybe she was fine, but she was gone. And then it was very interesting, because the next week I got a message, again, a kind of a negative message about the husband of a friend who was cheating. I just knew that he was cheating. I just had this strong sense. And so I sort of dismissed it. Like, maybe I'm just, because he's a little annoying. I'm not going to lie. So maybe I was just kind of, making it up. And I didn't say anything to my husband. And then my husband says, I just heard that they separated and he has another person. He has a new partner, a new, girlfriend. And again, it was just like, wow. Okay. But I think that, like you said, these are like little validations that our spirit guides give us to wake us up, to wake us up to the energy that's around us.
And was there ever a point that, because I know when I first left the church, because I had grown up in the church, when you're born into an organized religion, all the answers are just given to you. You're everybody just tells you what you believe. This is how it works. This is what it is, and you just kind of take it on board as a kid. But when I left the church, I felt like it was the first time I could just believe what I wanted. It's sad. It's like I'm 38 years old at the time, or whatever I was, but that really was the first time. That really was the first time I felt like I could decide for myself what I believe. So was there a point where you started sort of researching or looking into things or seeing what resonated, and your beliefs are kind of morphing and shifting and changing from like the Catholic Church? Or
Well, I feel like I had already, I mean, I had left, I never officially left the church, but
right.
I had stopped attending a long time ago. By the time I was in late high school or college. And so, I would go with my family, and we would do the Christmas Easter thing, but it was more out of the ritual of it, in the kind of ceremony at the holidays. So I really didn't have much of that. I didn't have much deprogramming to do. You know what I'm saying? I've always really believed in more, and more than what the church told us. So it wasn't really a problem for me. But at that time, it also just said to me, the message was, okay, you've let this sit dormant long enough.
Right.
You've pushed it to the side. And now it's time to explore more and really kind of tap into those messages and things. And, like I've said to you before, it started really with the healing, but I kind of feel like all of it is healing. The psychic and mediumship messages, for me, always have a healing component, even if the message is, even if it, whatever the message may be, I don't know. I don't really have an example.
Yeah. And so the tools that you use are the cards, and you like the dowsing rods like I do. And it sounds like, what do you love about the tools that you use, and what do you think drew you to those tools specifically?
Well, you know what? Actually, it's funny because I don't really know what drew me to the tarot cards, because, to be perfectly honest with you, I kind of always thought they were sort of funny, and were they really something I believed in, and whatever. Even now I have these little doubts, like, oh, I'm just making this up or whatever. But what was interesting is when I picked up a deck of cards for myself and started to really learn what their meanings were, it occurred to me when somebody was sitting across from me that I was doing a reading for, and now I do a lot of it over Zoom. It felt like I was just kind of being pulled through a story. When I throw the cards for myself, it's just gobbledygook. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm too interested in it. So, but then I really started to get validation from people, like, oh my gosh, you are absolutely right. I'm struggling with my, boss or my whatever. And these are the stories that I was picking up through the cards. Now, and I've evolved since then. And I would say I probably only use the cards about 20 or 30% of the time, because I've just started trusting when I'm receiving in my mind, or just claircognitively. I feel like I just have mine feels like it's more of a knowing, but I also get physical senses, and I can see images and hear. So a little bit of everything. But anyway, the cards I think they're just a really nice kind of short, they're a nice way to get into the message quickly when you don't have a lot of time, or if you're just really not trusting what you're picking up, through your clairs.
Right. And I also want to, put to bed this idea that people have that, there is anything, not there's anything wrong, but there's anything like that is like weaker about using a tool. Because when people take classes, a lot of times they'll say, I want to be like you, where you just know it, you just do it. And it's like, I use tools especially for myself, I use tools for my family. I use tools in situations where any time I may be overly biased, which is usually people that I know really well. I want everything to work out for them. So I am biased in that way. If I don't know you, I don't have that preconceived feeling of like, I want everything to be okay. Especially like for Cassie, I always use cards. I always use dowsing rods just to double check. And I feel like these tools are here for a reason. They're here for us to use and to validate. And I think they can become sometimes, maybe we might get, they become kind of like a crutch, they can become that for people. Like I can't read without my cards, that kind of thing. But I feel like, no, they're there for a reason. And I don't think that you ever have to be like, I'm not using anything anymore. I don't think you ever have to be like that. I think you can kind of ride the wave. And when you feel like maybe a little more disconnected, or you feel like you're just not getting much or whatever, you can really use those things to jumpstart something. Don't you think? I mean, they always have a place, I feel like, for everybody.
Yes. And I feel, in fact, I think the time that, what I started noticing though, is that when I would use the cards every time, that began to feel less authentic to me, because I felt like sometimes, like if I were to use the cards for every reading, it might make me ignore the images I'm receiving in my mind's eye, or what I'm hearing or what I'm sensing. And so I usually, it's funny because it's kind of flip-flopped. It used to be I relied more on the cards and then on my intuition, and now I kind of do it backwards. I only really go to the cards if I want maybe more depth, because when, you know how it is, when you're reading intuitively, you're getting, I mean, I don't know, maybe some people have this, but you don't necessarily see, let's say it's a mediumship reading. You don't, always see, you might see something is in their hand, and feel that it's cold, but you don't know what it is exactly. And so, like, I don't know, this is just a weird example. I'm just saying that the cards can add a little bit more context and sort of fill in the details for me now. So does that make sense?
Yeah. Because I've told people that before, when they say like, I use the pendulum and like it's not that great, or things are wrong or stuff like that. And I think try the cards, because the cards give you more nuance. They give you some of the gray. Whereas, I feel like the dowsing rods, any kind of yes and no tool is very black and white. It's just is that it, as it is.
Yeah.
It gives you a little bit of nuance here and there. But the cards really can fill in a lot of that.
Yes, but I love the dowsing rods. I love the dowsing rods, and I think you do too. Excuse me. The first time I was, a pair of dowsing rods was put in my hand, the lady at the shop was like, "Oh man, it takes a while to really calibrate your energy to the dowsing rods." I had already been using pendulums, and I have a couple of them here, and I really love the pendulum too. But the dowsing rods brought an extra sense but she put them in my hand, and I immediately asked, show me yes, and they crossed like this, show me no, and they went out. Mine's the opposite of yours.
Right.
But that was my intention. I kind of wanted them to show me this as a yes, and they did it. But I knew that I wasn't turning them. They're really fascinating. The pendulum I really love too. But I felt like the dowsing rods were even that much more, I don't know, reliable.
Right. And it depends, right? I think that's why there are so many tools, because some tools will resonate with your energy and some will not.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's, and you can also tell too, sometimes my dowsing rods are pretty they talk to me. But you can also tell when they're a little more sluggish sometimes. Maybe it's your energy that's a little bit off and you're not feeling it a little bit, or your guide. I think our guides are always there, but it's very interesting because I feel like they mirror our energy of the moment, right? So, or our intention. Yeah.
And I think it's really important too, because as you talk about the dowsing rods, and I do the same thing, but I can feel your joy, like your enthusiasm for it. And I think that that's so important when with anything that you use in reading or in reading itself, that there is a feeling of joy and fun to it. I feel like we get so bogged down with like, oh, let me feel the energy. And there's nothing wrong with being, I mean, if you're like that, it's fine, whatever. But I just feel like there is the more you can relax and have joy and have fun and laugh along. My dowsing rods, and I don't know if this is true for you, but they have a sense of humor. It's like you can feel it. It's like they're funny. They want to have fun with you, and they want to bring that out. And I think that people get very, very like, oh, is it trickster energy? Is it this? It's like don't bring that in. Don't think about that. Bring the joy in. Bring the fun in. Bring the love in. It will be fine. But
I never allow for like trickster. I just don't. It's not like I do any kind of ritual to shut down like trickster energy or whatever that may be. I just don't. I just come from a place where I assume it's always coming from my spirit guides, my higher self, and sometimes I'll call in specific entities from the other side, spirits from the other side, like. For instance, I will call in, one time I was having, I had to look this up. I was like, I started to ask, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? And it was Archangel Haniel. And I didn't even know who it was. But I looked it up and I do feel now a presence, like a connection with this angel, this archangel. But she is the archangel. She is the archangel of joy.
Oh, perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
And how amazing is that? And anyway, so just things like that. I actually use them not just from, the blanket, my guides. I will say, I want to hear from a specific so-and-so. I don't do that on my channel. I just do that for myself when I'm asking questions. Yeah, it's really fun. I love it.
I love it too. And I want to pull out our dowsing rods in just a second and start like reading for someone in the chat. But I want to get really real right now, because something happened a couple of now it's almost 2 years, but it's about a year and a half ago, I guess. Or I guess a year and a few months. It was really strange because I had been doing a lot of or mediumship, and I'd had some really profound experience. It was not long after my out of body experience, and I was having it was almost like about a month after that, I had this almost like a crisis of confidence in a way. It was really strange, and when I kind of decided, okay, you need to face your fears and stop being a baby, and you need to stand on your own 2 feet, and you need to stop leaning on people, and you need to just do what you do and stop. I'm sure that was my guide saying that. Doesn't sound like me, but that's what ultimately that's what happened. But when I look back on it, the crisis of confidence really was the way information comes in. What happens is your trust grows, and in that trust, your confidence grows. But the actual way that stuff happens never gets easier. It's always that whisper, whisper, whisper. It's always quiet and it's always subtle. Every once in a while, you'll have these big experiences that just blow your mind. But most of the time, it's exactly that just little subtle thing. And could you, maybe you don't even agree with that, but that was the crisis. That was like, oh, it was almost like I realized, oh, this is never, ever going to get easier. I am never going to be just hearing a voice in my head talk like, it's never going to be like that. And I think that's, it was almost like, so this is just going to keep being hard or what?
Well, and I don't know. I had a feeling you were going to say something like this today. Maybe I'm psychic. But because I was just thinking like, you're right. It never gets easier. And if anybody who does readings for other people, and particularly mediumship, maybe, I don't know, because there's such an expectation and there are real deep emotions involved. If you sit down to read with somebody, and if you were to tell me that you sat down with 100% confidence every time you sat down, I would have to call you a liar, because it's a very vulnerable place that you have to go to sit and talk to somebody, especially somebody who's grieving a loss. An example, the other day, I was doing a reading for a lady and her daughter, and husband came through, and I was just, how it is, you kind of just get these quick little flashes, and it's so easy to ignore them. And then I said something that I said, oh my gosh, I just feel like he's sitting in the passenger seat with you in the car. And both of them start sobbing. They're like, I talk to him in the car all the time. And, it was just one of those things that I could very easily have just blown right past. But, the wife of the spirit that we were connecting with, first starts like, oh my gosh, that's the place I talk to him the most, that's like, and I was like, well, he's just showing me that he sits there and he hears everything that you say. I mean, it really kind of moved all three of us, because the daughter was there too. And the daughter, she's in her 20s, and she was like, Mom, I never told you this, but I always talk to him in the car too. And anyway, so it feels sometimes really stupid, like you're just about to say something ridiculous to them, and it might be the most important thing you could say to them. So
right. And I feel like too, when you can move into, because you're right, you're in a very vulnerable place, and you're putting yourself there when you read like that. But I always feel that when you're able to, what I'm realizing over time is that when you put yourself there, and then you sort of, it's almost like falling off a cliff and just putting your arms out and like just hoping that something happens. I think when you do that, your guides and the other side recognizes that's what you're doing, and it's rewarded. And I don't mean rewards in abundance, or I mean just in that moment, it is rewarded in that they meet you. They don't let you just fall. They realize, oh, she's putting her hands out, she's putting her wings out, and we're here to hold you up. And
you can get into your head, and that's a bad place to be, because when you slip out of that trust place into that mind, trying to work it out with your brain rather than your intuition, I mean, you can fall on your face, but it is about just sitting down, taking that deep breath, and trusting that the information that you need to deliver is going to come to you, and that's hard. It's very hard. Yeah.
It is. And I think that moment of just like, this isn't going to get, this part of it isn't going to get any easier.
But, especially when you get the blank face, when you're reading somebody and they're almost testing you. You talked about on your channel about a man who he didn't believe, and he was just giving you the stone face the entire time, or whatever that was. That's really hard because that really makes your head, it gets in your head. It's a little bit of a trip. But, you have to really kind of, once you kind of crack through sometimes, then they start giving you the threads and validation from your reader. Just even saying, oh my gosh, I always talk to him in the car, opens more information. Suddenly it's like it starts a path and where you can follow.
Yes.
So,
because it's an energy blending that's happening there. You have to have the sitter working with you. They can't just sit there like a bump on a log. They have to be part of it.
Yeah.
They have to be. And if they're completely closed off, well, that closes off part of the energy of the experience. It's not there. And when that flow opens, it really is like, oh, thank goodness, it's okay. This is going to be okay. And all of a sudden things start flowing in a different way.
Right. So, yeah, it's, like I said, it is a scary thing. And I'm happy to hear that you say that you still have those moments where you're like, crisis of confidence.
Yeah.
But everybody does. Everybody I think who's legitimate does.
And it was one of the, and I'm sure there'll be other ones to come, but it was one of those moments where there's like, okay, in this moment, either I'm going to shut everything down and just go work retail or something, or I'm gonna like figure this out and face my fear and stop being ridiculous and just let the chips fall where they may. Just keep plowing on ahead, because I know, and that's why it does help to have your own, when it does help to have those bigger experiences that you have, because you can go back to them and say, I can't deny that this happened. I can't deny that happened. So what am I going to do? Just pretend like it didn't happen? No. But that is why it's so important, right? To have your own experiences where you can draw back on and say, okay, that actually happened. I can't deny that.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And too, it's sort of like the other part of it is sometimes they'll say, no, I don't, that doesn't mean anything to me. Right. And if you keep getting the message, you have to trust your guides sometimes more than the person sitting across from you, and say, this may make sense to you later, because I don't know why they're showing me the red shoes. The red shoes are just really something about the shoes, right? And it could just be, grandma was unable to walk at the end, but now she can dance. Now she feels like she can dance again, whatever it is. But it just you have to say it. Yeah,
absolutely. So I wanted to, let's pull out our dowsing rods, because I think that it's really fun to use them. But you also taught me something, and now I use it all, and now I use this all the time.
Oh, please demonstrate, please.
Just that I always ask, like, where are you standing? And now before I do Spirit Speaks, I always ask where people are, because it helps me just to know, like, where everybody's standing. Are there more than one person here? Is it going to be 3 people? Because that's what I'm feeling, and just getting that validation.
Okay, good. Yes, I love that. Yeah. I love that too. I mean, because sometimes it'll take you by surprise, and that's extra validating too.
Right. That's the other thing, is that they love to surprise you. They love, and like I said, there's fun attached to it. They love to make you laugh, do something funny and unexpected. They just love it. It's a connection that you're having, and it's fun. You should be happy. So the thing that you taught me do you have the longer ones or the shorter ones?
I have the longer ones.
Again, me too. I like them a lot.
I had some shorter ones that I didn't like as much, but but I lost them. Thank you, Spirit. I don't know where they went. They just disappeared. So I had to get some more, and I got the long ones. And then you sent me some as well from one of your classes. So I think that's this pair. Yeah.
Well, so you taught me to ask, where are my spirit guides, and where are my they just go behind. Yeah, they're behind you.
Yeah. And okay. I'll do the same. Can you show? All right. Are you present? Where are you standing? Oh, they always go right over my shoulder here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for me, that means they're either so close with me, they blend with me, or they aren't. It's my higher self that some of these answers come from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I asked a question. So I'm going to ask Spirit. So Spirit, where was Lucille Ball standing on? Okay. So they're going to go to right here. And it's because they stop at a very specific place in the room. This is exactly where they stopped last time. And so where was her husband, Desi, standing? And see, they're going just slightly before that. So they're going slightly to the left of that. And where was her mom standing? And now they're going further to the right. She was standing between them. And her mom was to her left, and Desi was to her left, or to her right, and her mom was to her left. And it's so specific. It's so weird, and it's also how because I'll say I'm picturing them in a certain order, but can I just verify with you what I'm seeing? And it will go just like exactly how they're lined up, and I'll even check things like I'm seeing. I'm just taking this recent one because it's so recent, but I'm seeing her in pink. Is that correct? I'm seeing her with red hair. Is that correct? I'm seeing all these things. Is that accurate? And then I feel like, okay, I have that validation, and I can go ahead and build on that. But it just helps me for some reason to just get that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It's like a friend standing here saying, no, you got it. That kind of thing. But
and that's why we were talking about confidence before. This can validate and help to boost your confidence, because you're like, now, if anybody doesn't know, the dowsing rods have like this little tube on the end. So you're not spinning them with your fingers. They're spinning, on their own. Yeah. So, the rod sits inside the tube, and so it spins on its own. And while you were saying that, I was just thinking, my dad's he died on 8/8. I'm sorry, 10/8. No, 8/8, right, which would have been Friday. And I was just like, you know what? Is my dad present here? And it went right over here, just where you were pointing. Look, see?
Yes. Yes.
And so interesting. So and it didn't go behind me, just like they do if I ask, where my guide's standing. It went right over to the right. I feel like I have most of my spirit energy on my right side too, because this is where I hear things, and so.
Exactly. And it's funny because I asked about angels, and I asked where. It was interesting because I asked where are the angels in the room, and I thought for sure it would come over here because I always hear that high pitched thing from angels in my left ear when they're here. Some people hear it in the right, and I always hear angels in the left, but I get a lot of my clairaudience in the right. But they had, when I asked, okay, so I'll ask right now, where are, if there are angels here, where are they standing? They went right to the back where my guides are. So I feel like that, so again, that's like kind of validating, because it wasn't what I expected them to say. I expected, oh, it's got to be over here, but they went to the back where my guides are. So, and like you said, it is either that, because our higher self, or our spirit, our own spirit, is the gateway to our guides and our that's kind of the gateway to the other side. That's what they're showing us, is like it's you, it's within. Yeah, like that's where they are.
They're here with you. Your team is blended with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. So let's. Well, first of all, I want to get your answer to a question I think Daniel was asking about the dowsing rods, which is basically, do I have to buy some? Can I make my own? That kind of thing. And like you said, there's a way that they're made so that they move. So I think if you can mimic that, I guess you could make your own. So I kind of like the sorry, Daniel, I can't find it, but I know it's there. And he's talked about doing like, could you use like wire from hangers or something? But I kind of feel like
I get a yes. I get a yes on that right off the bat. Because and if you think about it, like the old time dowsing rods were like, twigs or little tree branches that they would walk around with. I don't know if they had a little spinny tube or whatever like these do. But the old dowsing rods have been around since man began looking for water, digging wells and all that kind of thing. Right?
Yeah, and I think as long as they're malleable, like they're able to move, I think you're probably right. I think you're probably right that it's okay.
And Hypnosis says copper is the key. I think copper is just a really great conduit for energy. I mean, that's why they use copper wiring in homes, right, for electrical. But I don't think it has to be. I mean, I honestly think you could take a coat hanger and an old wire coat hanger if the intention is good, right? But so I can't tell you I would know how to make one, but the way that these are made makes it more foolproof because I'm just holding them gently here, like in my hand, and they're spinning they can spin fully on their own,
Right.
So I don't have to spin my finger. You see my fingers are staying still. So yeah.
And you're right. And it probably is like how when you first bought them, how they said your energy it's like you kind of have to work with them a little bit and get connected with them and make them yours, basically, that you have a connection with them. So I hope that answers that, Daniel.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniel. Let's see. Spirit can speak through anything. I would agree, Mystic Shining. I would agree. You just have to really interpret it.
Okay. Okay. Let me see this question. What it is. I always ask for protection for my indoor-outdoor cat Pearl for when she is outside and wonder if there are angels whose main job it is to protect animals. So that would be good.
Oh.
Okay. And we're the opposite. I should say you said that your yes is a cross. Yeah. Mine go out. So the question is, are there angels whose main job it is to protect pets and animals? Oh gosh, I get immediate. Oh, okay.
Well, it's funny. See, mine are wobbling like this. When mine wobble, it means for me, I interpret that as kind of, sort of.
Mine opened up and then they kind of went this way, which is always kind of like my maybe.
Yeah.
Kind of a middle ground.
Yeah. And now they're sitting. Yeah. Then they stopped in the yes position. So.
Yeah.
But I think
yes, but there's more to it, kind of thing.
Exactly. I think there's more to it because honestly, I think they can all help us with our animals and our pets, and if you ask, but are there certain ones that are maybe a little better for that? I think it depends on your relationship to them. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Back to Catholicism, of course, was it Saint Francis was, who was the saint for animals, and I believe it was Saint Francis.
I don't know anything about saints or archangels, by the way. So I'm completely useless.
I don't know a lot about them either.
People will probably know. If you know, let us know.
Gina said Saint Francis of Assisi. Yes. Okay. But I think if you pray to him and your intention is good and it's a pure question or request, he'll come, or some spirit will come through, and assist.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Okay. And I do the same thing, by the way. We have an indoor outdoor cat, and I always, it was funny because my sister's doing animal communication. She's kind of been in training, and now she's kind of going out there and doing it. She's really good at it.
Wow.
I asked her, every time when my cat goes outside, I always say, okay, be careful. And I asked my sister to do a quick read on my cat and my dog. And my sister said, when I was looking at Jack, which is our cat, when I was looking at Jack, he immediately said to me that when he goes outside, and she put in quotes, he's careful. And I was like, he's good, he's careful. So,
I do that with my family members. If John is listening, whenever he leaves in the car and he's going to be driving some distance or whatever, I ask for protection for him or for my children, my sons. Hi, if you're there. I think I saw one of my sons was watching.
oh.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Well, okay. So let me see. I'm just looking for questions. I love that. I don't want to discourage the conversations I have, because I feel like this is really a fun time for people to connect and get caught up with each other. So it's great. It just takes me a minute to get through. So,
by the way, speaking of animals, it just occurred to me, and I never tried this before. The dowsing rods or pendulum might be a really good way to communicate and ask questions of your pet. Like, are they hurting, or do they have a problem, or are they happy? Right? I never do that, but I think I'm going to go do that right after this.
That's a great idea. I love that.
Right. They can't speak to you. So
this is a personal question, but we'll answer it. Maria Amethyst is wondering, let me put it up here so everyone can see it. I'm wondering if I will meet someone who I can build a family with and have kids with. So we'll just do the dowsing rods. So Maria. Okay, so a yes and then a maybe, which I feel like, Maria, I do actually feel like this is a free will thing. It's like of course you can if you want to. Of course you can. Mm-hmm. I think that they're telling you, they opened with the yes, because I feel like you need to know that is open to you in this lifetime, and that you can do this. What do you think, Kelly?
Well, I got a yes right off the bat, but I know what you mean, because I think I know Maria's story a little bit, and I think that thing of like, I want it so badly that I'm just gonna almost strangle off the possibility. Like, you have to kind of allow more than try to force it through. So maybe that's what you were picking up there. Yeah.
Right. And I also feel like, as you say that, I also feel like, Maria, that there might be points in, I don't know, in whatever, the dating process or in the new relationship phase, that there may be these points where you have to move through your fear. Because I feel like fear may come up, and maybe in times past you back up, or you're like, oh, maybe I don't want, or, maybe this isn't going to work out or whatever. I feel like there might be those points you hit, and it's like, it's having that courage. Just have courage, and you're safe. And yeah.
Yes. I agree.
Okay. So
Barb P says she uses her pendulum to speak with her dog. There you go.
We're just, I guess we're slow to the party, Kelly. That's all. Now we know.
Yes.
Because of my struggles in life, KCMR, because of my struggles in life, it seems that persons with wicked traits win all the time, while good persons suffer, and my faith decreased. Can Spirit tell me how and when I can have my faith restored?
Oh.
That's
what the dowsing rods will tell us.
Not a dowsing rod. But we can look at it and see.
We can look at it.
Yeah.
Can I just, I don't want to interrupt your flow, Kim.
Go ahead.
Okay. They're telling me the words I'm hearing are, it's a matter of perspective. Okay. And I think what that means is that we can choose to see all the negativity and the bad things and the, and the good guys are always last kind of thing. Or we can choose to trust that there's a higher order to everything, and that it's not our place to ask for their, for justice. Well, we can ask for justice, but it's not our place to impose it, impose our will or whatever. It's these are all, we just have to accept that they're lessons. But I also think there's a matter of allowing too, like allowing. And sometimes when we sit in this energy of the bad guy always wins or whatever it is, we create more of that. So we have to really be careful with those feelings.
Yeah. And I got a very similar thing about that. You're looking at the level of like right here, and there is a much bigger picture at play. We don't know how this ends. We don't know what's actually going to happen. It may look a certain way at a certain moment in time, but that isn't the end of the story. That's just one thing. That's just one chapter. That's just one, and my guys have repeatedly said, when you are seeing things at this level, it's almost the worst level to look at it. When you're just like in the throes of 3D and seeing all the chaos around you and taking it in, that's like the worst like space to be able to actually quote unquote see what's really going on. You either have to go big and see the picture, like you said, higher order, or you go small and you go within and you worry about you. Because that's the other feeling I got, was that it isn't that those people aren't your business. You are your business.
You are your business. And going in is like, it always sounds so trite to me, but those gratitude moments, right? Just say, you know what, if I cannot find gratitude for anything else, then I'm going to be grateful that I have a clean glass of water, clean water to drink today. You know what I mean? The small things going within, like you were saying, either go very big or go very small. And some days all we can find gratitude is for the fact that we have, a comfortable bed to sleep in or whatever it may be. So yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. So I also feel like I know what she's talking about. All of us know what's going on. The world is a crazy place right now. I honestly feel like we're kind of we're almost like at the top of the roller coaster right now. Do you feel this energy, Kim? Like we're sitting right there, that terrifying feeling where that something's about to happen. And it's going to speed up, and everything it's just going to go. It's just going to go. Things are going to start going boom, boom, boom.
In fact, I had this conversation with my husband today. I felt, but I used a harder analogy, because I said I feel like we're teetering on the edge of a cliff. I feel like it's just that, and all of a sudden something's going to happen. And it's just going to start this. It's like things are just going to just start getting
in dam breaking kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Should we ask the dowsing rods about that? Is something to happen?
I would love to do that, because some of the people who follow me know that I do usually once every week or every other week, I do a dowsing rod show that's all mainly political and, kind of what's happening around the world. So, but it changes every day. So yes.
And KCMR, don't feel bad for feeling that way. I promise you, no matter how spiritual you are, unless you are Eckhart Tolle or people like that, that are just on another plane already, you have those days where you're just like, everything's terrible.
We were having that talk today. My husband and I were walking and talking about, oh my God, and did you hear they did this? And can you believe that? And this, that, and the other. And we were, I was like, oh my gosh, we should just really stop talking about this because it makes it worse.
That's the point though, Kelly, right? We're all in this, so many of us are in this position of sort of witness and not really having any power really to actually do anything. Like there are certain things we can do. That's really it. And the rest of the time, it's like, go within. You always have the spiritual areas you can move into. You can use prayer, you can use meditation, you can move your energy around, you can send positive energy, you can do all of those things. And it's a good time to move into that because I feel like we're being asked to sort of try it, see what happens. Things may change. Right. Try it. Go ahead and try it. And so I think we're being moved into that as well out of just desperation in some ways, but it's also like, you need to use these tools that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think so too. And about rising above or going within is so important. So important. So what's the question we're asking, Kim?
I think it's that we feel this feeling of something is about to happen to start what would it be to start?
I feel like it's a lot of revelatory stuff, revelations, and kind of, you've said this, the unearthing in your channel, on your channel. I feel like we have a bunch of things about to come out that, and I want to say this, I've said this to people on my channel. I feel like we don't even know a thimble of the things that are happening behind our, without our knowledge. I just think it's way bigger and broader than anything else that we can imagine. In terms of like when we talk about the Epstein. So sorry, I didn't mean to say the word, but
it's okay. Yeah. Okay. So is something, you say, how do you think we should say it?
All right. I'm going to say, is the dam about to break in terms of the U.S. political news?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. All right.
So, all right. So is the dam about to break for the U.S. political news?
Mine are wobbling and then they go. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, mine's yes, and it's sticking on yes.
So I got it, and then I get a yes. When I wobble, it's a little, for me, it's a time element. So did you see how that went back and forth a little bit, and then it crossed? Because it says, it's like, it's saying, wait for it, yes.
So maybe we should ask, is there a
Gina has a good question, maybe. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Are we on the brink of a turning point in the energy?
Present on the planet. Okay, so are we on the brink of a turning point in the energy present on this planet?
Okay, yes. Look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
That's a strong, strong yes.
Should we ask a time question? Is it maybe saying, is it possible this happens before the end of the year? Is that a good question?
I think so. I mean, and that's what the dowsing rods are great for, because you can actually ask specific months and weeks and things like that. But
yeah, I'm thinking there is a possibility of this. Is it a great possibility?
Of the year.
It's a great possibility.
Yeah. But I think it depends. What I'm hearing, it depends on what we're asking, specifically.
Let's say that the event that gets this ball rolling, is that possible by the end of the year?
Yeah. Ooh, wow, like a big yes.
I got a big yes as well. So there's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Amanda got a strong yes too. Yes. Oh.
Going to the right for some reason.
Oh. So as a follow-up, it went to the right?
Yeah. Let's see, are you going to the right?
Give us some questions, folks.
Just to make this more clear, because I feel like you know what it is. I think I was asking a question in my head that I didn't want to ask out loud, but I'm going to say what I asked in my head. This is why these are so funny. I asked in my head, could it be a death? That's what I was asking.
Oh, will there be?
And that's when they did that. They went to the right, which is usually my maybe, like a soft yes.
I just got a soft yes on that too.
Yeah.
But you know what I think that could have meant too is that there's so many things going on, and we're not really, I mean, maybe we have an idea in our mind, but we're not being specific about it. So, I mean, it could be like, are we asking, will election tampering be revealed? Are we asking, will somebody be leaving the stage? Are we asking, you know what I mean? I feel like there's so many different phases to these things. It could be worldwide info. So I think we're trying not to say the words is what I'm saying.
It was that. Well, so let's say, will election, we'll say interference. Will that be part of the revelation maybe before, that's
before the end of the year?
Yeah.
Look at mine. Yes.
Yeah. So mine got yes too.
Very strong. I was feeling, I think I got September before when I used the dowsing rods. I don't recall, but will it be by September?
What happened? See, that's a very, like, yes, that's a maybe. I'm getting a maybe.
On September?
Yeah, September.
Yeah, because I got a bobble and then a small cross. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Same thing. That's my maybe.
I'm getting maybes on September, October, November. What about December? That's more of a yes for by December. So maybe it's between now and then. Sometime maybe it's like we can't really know quite yet exactly.
I feel like the energy is unsettled with that too, because I feel like it's like a step forward, a step back. You know, it's like this battle between good and evil, and you make a little progress, and then something comes along, and whatever. So
right. The last question, I think that was a good question somebody had. Will we have a new president in 2026?
Okay.
Will we have a new president in 2026?
You're getting no. I'm getting a very soft. Do you see? It's barely crossed. Mm-hmm. Very soft. Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting a.
You're getting a no.
No. Okay. And maybe it's because it's the same administration.
Yeah.
See, it's the same administration. So it's going to be. So.
The second in command. Is that what you? Well, let's ask the question about DT. Will DT still be president all the way through 2026?
I'm getting a no.
Oh, mine came together, but now it's a no. Now it's not touching. You getting a no?
Yeah, I'm getting a no into a maybe. You know, I feel like his departure in whatever way, just leaving the stage or leaving the earth, whatever, I feel like it's very tied to his purpose or mm-hmm. what he's sort of in the midst of doing.
Do you mean like doing in actuality or in the spirit, like
the spiritual sense, kind of in the way that what he's doing is moving us, spirit is moving us in our, you know, vibrational, movement.
All of these answers have been it's almost like they really just don't want to give us a straight answer at this time, because there isn't really a straight answer at this time. Right?
But we can all feel it. It's weird because it's kind of like they're kind of saying, like, sort of like, yes, what you're feeling is correct, but all of these things there's a lot of different factors and things that could, kind of make the time fluid and that kind of thing. So everything is a little bit up in the air. Yeah. So were you going to ask something, Kelly?
No, I was reading a question from someone here to see if it was something that we could dive into. Let's see. I'm not sure if it's a dowsing rods question, if we're using the rods. Let's see. Let's see. Let me see if I can find any other questions too.
Yeah.
Somebody asked something about Casey, Edgar Casey. Ms. Sherlock, have the Casey predicted major Earth changes just begun? I feel they have started in the last year. Okay.
With the Edgar Casey predictions about the Earth, have they begun? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well,
have they begun? Yes. What are you getting?
Yeah, I'm getting a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I'm getting a chill. I almost feel like his presence was helping us that time. We could ask. But yes.
Yeah, and Kat Smith says many moving parts. It's hard to predict because of free will. And I think that's true. I think, and like I said, I think there's some like I've always felt like Putin and Trump, that their fates are very tied together. They're very tied, and like and so what happens with them sort of happens around the same time. It's weird. And so I do feel like there's an orchestration going on here that also has to do with people's choices and how that, but also some things are unavoidable, like they're going to happen. But but there's these little things in the middle that are
it feels like we got close and then something happened to intervene, and it prolonged the timeline or something. And it could have been the election. It could very well have been the election. Yeah. So somebody has a question. Should we ask about about Maxwell? Amanda has, will Maxwell inadvertently help uncover Epstein crimes?
Oh,
that's the thing that I think is so much bigger than any of us can.
Yeah, I know. I get the same feeling, Kelly.
Yes. Okay. Will oh gosh. Look at my rods. They don't do this very often. But I feel like that's a day by day thing too. Look at that, back and forth. And
why do they keep doing that? So I got a yes, and they're going to this, and I'm not even sure. I know that when they go back like this, it's sort of like a maybe or a soft yes, but they keep going like literally right to the side, and I'm like, what is this? What is this?
Okay, let's ask if you have a guide who's standing there that wants to be addressed and brought into this conversation.
Yes. Is there a guide there? Is there somebody standing there? There's somebody standing there.
Yes.
Who's standing there?
I hope it's not. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to say it because it creeps me out.
Is this a guide? Is this? No, it's not a guide. It's a spirit. It's somebody. There's somebody standing here. Is it somebody involved in all of this who knows about this? Yeah. They keep pointing over to that corner. There's somebody here that knows about all of this and is
I haven't said it out loud. Could it possibly be the man whose name starts with E?
Is that who is standing over here? Yes, this is standing over here.
You gotta that creeps me out.
And yet I don't feel like I don't feel like there's negativity in the room. I don't feel that.
Oh my gosh, I keep getting a yes.
There is something about
Sorry, I know, dead space, dead air, but
dead air.
Unusual energy that we've tapped into. It's kind of freaking me out a little bit, Kim. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Is this a world leader?
He's the, okay, what I'm getting is that he's the thorn in the side. He's the thing that is, he's the thing, or that thing. He's the thing that's not going to go away. He's the thing that's going to be, it's like no matter what they do, no matter how they try, he's the thing that's not going away. He's there to stay. And I feel like that's what they're trying to get across. Is like, he's the constant. He's the thing. He's the it.
Very interesting.
He's not gonna go away, right?
But I feel like he's with you, because I asked if he was with me. He is with you.
You're like,
sorry.
It's okay, right? Am I getting that right? Is that correct? Am I getting that right? Yeah. He's not going anywhere.
Okay.
He is not going anywhere.
Well,
his story is not going anywhere.
Play itself all the way out. See, I get a small cross with what I meant is, will everything be revealed? I don't think everything will be revealed. I think a lot will. Enough will. Yeah. Oh, very interesting, Kim. I'm going to need a shower after this.
Well, we'll send this energy along. It's okay. Like I said, you have the power, right? So you never have to be afraid, not you, Kelly, but everybody. Nobody has to be afraid of anything. You have the power. Yeah. You're the
of course.
Protect your own energy, and you're the gatekeeper of your own stuff. So you can, but I think it was just to say, like, this is all happening, but this guy's still here.
This matter will not go away. Yeah,
it's still here. It's the turd in the punch bowl. It's the thorn in the side. It's the whatever, the oil in the ointment. It's that's what that is. And it's there.
And I'll be honest, I did not have the Epstein matter on my bingo card as what might actually take him down. So this really, I mean, it has legs. It obviously has legs, because it's not going away. So,
and I think you're right. I think it's a much bigger, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on that is still going on, and that's going to be kind of brought into our faces and have to face.
It's like a worldwide, I get it, that it's a worldwide thing too, and like an underworld situation. And it's, as I said on my channel, the way that I get, I mean, I think this is maybe apparent, maybe not. Everybody keeps talking about the, sexual assault and the young women. That's just a conduit for developing compromise on others and extortion. That's my feeling. This is not about, I'm sorry, it's not about sex. This is about how to get people in a compromising position so that you've got them on tape or on photograph or on the flight logs or whatever the thing is, so that then they can extort money and power out of people. They can shut people up, right?
Right.
Don't you agree?
Yeah. And so the money can keep flowing, right? So the power can keep growing and the money can keep flowing, and it keeps everybody quiet.
I
you
mean,
know,
where did the planes and the islands come from, right? It was
right.
extortion.
Right.
And
Right. It's all
how to
coming out. Like I said, everything that felt like that this year, it's like it's all coming out. It's all, there's nothing you can do. It's all coming out.
I feel the same way. So anyway, I didn't mean to make this go into a
Well,
a
no, no,
political thing, but it's very interesting. I
I
think
think
that
it's okay to talk about the. I think we're, it is sort of like, just naming what we all know is going on, what we all know is right. We can feel it, right? A lot of, especially empaths, are just feeling all of this stuff, feeling that fear wave and that anger wave and that all these things, and then also that feeling of something's about to break. Something is about to kind of flow into our existence that is going to change things.
It's going to change, and to me, it's going to change everything. And
Yeah.
and here's what I mean by that: that these things have been going on for a very long time under the surface that nobody has seen, nobody has fully appreciated. And I think it goes to the banking sector and to international relations and to war and to energy sector and to everything. I think it touches everything. It's all related, not necessarily this specific matter that we were talking about, but I think it's all a theme that is going to kind of just break wide open that dam burst feeling that I'm getting. Like it's going to change everything. It's just going to change everything. So I think, you've been saying buckle up and stay grounded, and I think we do. But I think also the changes are going to be for the better, because I feel like these malevolent forces, whoever they may be, have been holding us in a place of patriarchy and oppression for a very long time. And it's time that this is the why it feels so difficult, because it's time for all of that to come to an end.
Right.
It's served its purpose. It's over.
It's exactly. And you can see that even they know this because of the way that they're just doing everything they possibly can. And it seems like it's just going all crazy, and it is that feeling of like time's running out. They know time is running out. This time is running out. It really is on it. We're on a, yeah.
Somebody made a comment in the chat too at the beginning of this that they had a dream or something about an hourglass and the sand was almost gone.
Oh, right.
So, yeah, TikTok. Yeah.
Exactly. TikTok.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so interesting. I could talk about it forever. I've had an interest in politics forever, but boy, is it just wild times we live in.
Me too. Yeah. It is wild times for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kelly. This took such a weird turn, but it's like, it is what it is. It's all coming out, you guys. Sorry, it's going to come out.
Eventually the rods are going to be more like direct with us, because that was pretty, I felt like it was a little wishy-washy, but I don't think the energy's ready to reveal itself yet.
Yeah.
Fully. Yeah. Yes, but thank you for having me. It's been so much fun talking with you and your lovely, the folks in the chat. Good to see everybody here.
Yes. And do you have anything going on? Kelly, when do you like your readings online and things like that, so people can know?
Yeah, well, I have a website for if anybody wants a personal reading, I do. You can go to my website. It's kellyhealing.com. I think that's going to change, but currently it's kellyhealing.com, one word. Okay. But you can join me online too. I have on Sunday nights, I'm playing with whether to do it recorded or live, but I'm doing it live tonight. I dabble in everything, Kim. I do weekly tarot scopes, and then I use the tarot cards to sort of validate different things for all of the signs of the zodiac. I do the dowsing rods show every once in a while. That's usually live as well, so people can contribute their questions, and that's really fun. It's usually in the middle of the week. I probably won't do it this week because I'm about to travel to see my son in New York.
Oh, nice.
Yay, I'm excited. We haven't seen his place yet. And then on the weekend, either Friday or Saturday morning, except Friday night or Saturday morning, I do personal readings. I just do mini, kind of like you do, your mini readings with your members. So it's just, I don't have a membership, but it's really fun. And I love seeing, it's fun practice. It's just fun to see people's reactions and to interact with the chat.
Super fun. All right. Thank you, Kelly. And I've got your information in the description for people. So thank you, everybody. Have a great week. Have a great Sunday. Thank you, Kelly. We'll see you again. Bye, everyone.
Okay.